Body camera of protesters brawling with ICE agents has been released. What's this about?
So New Jersey Democrats are defending their actions of storming a Newark ICE facility on Friday that ultimately resulted in the arrest of the city's mayor.
DHS says more arrests could be coming as they accuse 3 Democratic members of Congress of assaulting federal agents at an ICE facility in Newark. The lawmakers say it's the agents that escalated the situation.
Yeah, that's what they always say. It's always the police that make things worse. Can you imagine if these were Republican lawmakers who attacked police for some reason? The story might be a little bit different.
People just are afraid of this un-American hyperactivity,
Un-American
weaponization of law enforcement, and the consistent lying.
They made this a violent scene that we were unfortunately all a part of, and it's something that should really shock all Americans.
The lawmakers say they wanted to conduct an oversight visit at the ICE facility when a scuffle broke out with federal agents. DHS is pointing to this video that they say shows at least one representative.
Okay, look who's doing the pushing. The ICE agents are not doing the pushing. There's a fence, there's security, and people are pushing, trying to force their way inside this facility. The ICE agents, it looks like they were just defending themselves.
Monica McIver in the red, shoving her way past a DHS agent. They say she body slammed the officer, an accusation McIver rejects.
There's no video that supports me body slamming anyone.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen.
We're there to do our job, therefore oversight visit.
She's rough, man.
DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin responded this morning.
Body slamming, body ramming, striking an officer, pushing, shoving, whatever you want to call it, it sure looks like assault.
Okay, so she may not have, WWE style suplexed this person, but she was really rough. She was pushing people, and that's technically assault. They assaulted these ICE agents. If any of us did that to a police officer, we'd be in jail.
Newark's Mayor Ras Baraka, who's running for New Jersey governor, is facing trespassing charges for allegedly ignoring warnings to leave the property. Baraka argues he was on public
and the
property
mayor got
when
arrested.
He was detained. The lawmakers were eventually able to tour the ICE facility after the confrontation. McLaughlin says the situation could have been avoided had the members of Congress followed protocol and given 24 hours notice ahead of their visit. Lawrence Ainsley and Brian.
Okay, so what these people did, they knew that they were showing up to this thing to get on TV and show the people that they were standing up for who they say are all Americans, even though the people in that detention center were in the country illegally and in many cases are the worst of the worst. ICE isn't out there picking people up off the street for no reason. They're looking for people with criminal records, and that's who's in this jail.
ICE has nothing to hide. They have nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, this is inside this place.
It's so clean. It has, all kinds of recreation facilities, outdoor soccer fields.
Soccer fields at an ICE facility.
Domino tables. It also has telephones everywhere with signs next to them of how they can, the phone numbers to reach their consulates. It also has legal facilities, computer, webcams. There are doors on the bedrooms.
Honestly, this is going to backfire in the faces of all of these quote-unquote protesters because this is a nice, clean facility. Yes, it's a jail. Yes, the people in it weren't supposed to be in America. Yes, this is technically a consequence of breaking the law, but look at it. This is not that El Salvador prison.
Here's a clip of him telling me the kind of person that comes into this facility. You can't come here, you guys, just because you crossed the border illegally. You have to have committed another crime.
Oh, really?
The person who ends up in this facility is not just that they crossed the border illegally. No. You've had to have done more than that, correct?
Right. So currently today, as we're walking through here today, there's 152 detainees. 75% of those have committed crimes, been convicted of crime, or have pending criminal charges. So
what kind of crimes are we talking about?
Unfortunately, it runs the whole gamut.
So the people in this facility that elected representatives in New Jersey stormed and where they altercated with police were not here because their crime was to seek the American dream. No, they did something else to wind up here.
75% of the people that are here are felons. Bad people you don't want in your neighborhood.
Here's another thing that I found really interesting. Everywhere you go, in Spanish and English, there are signs up that say, do you want to go home? ¿Quieres ir a tu casa? And it gives you a phone number that you can call to self-deport. Or you can also just tell somebody in the facility, hey, I'm ready to be done with this. I just want to go home to my country. If you do that, the American government through ICE will arrange within 48 hours a free flight and $1,000 so you can get out. So
the people in this facility that our elected officials are telling us is so horrible and so inhumane. They can leave whenever they want and they can get paid to do it. That's crazy. Who rejects that offer and decides to stay in a place like this knowing that the end result could be El Salvador? Come on.
That they are here with no agency, that they are being, detained with no choices. That's not true. They have a choice to self-deport, and they make it really easy.
Rachel, I'm just curious.
And people still don't take it.
This is
Why?
the director for all of ICE in the country, and I know you were there touring this facility. But how does the director feel about the Democrats defending the criminals that are in that facility that you were in and not defending the people that they're victimizing on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, absolutely. And we had that conversation. We also talked about why they're not out defending or standing up for and looking into oversight at our own prisons for our own American citizens. I know I talked to Representative Claudia Tenney on Fox and Friends Weekend, and she told me the conditions are deplorable in her state of New York for prisoners. So I'm not.
That's a great point. All of the facilities where you or I are most likely to get placed in the Federal Bureau of Prisons or even in a state prison are way worse than this. And not only can the people in this nice facility leave whenever they want and get $1,000 even if they're a dangerous felon, nobody's at prisons in America fighting for better conditions for Americans. No, this is only happening here at a place that's beautiful where nobody's actually a prisoner. And that reveals that this whole thing was just a political stunt which can't accomplish anything. Even if these individuals get released, they're still in the country illegally. They've still got to get deported. They cannot be released from this facility and be allowed out in America. No.
American killers, and for them to try and get these individuals out is just beyond the pale. We know that the mayor, we know these members of Congress want their 15 minutes of fame so desperately.
They're getting it.
But they're willing to do it at the peril of the safety of our brave law enforcement and even the detainees as well, Lawrence.
Trisha, why didn't y'all charge?
Okay, so this is the woman here. You can see her getting really up in the faces, screaming at people. And these are the people saying that the ICE agents made this whole thing worse. They're the ones that broke into this place with no achievable goal whatsoever. And the reason they did it is because they see these ICE troops and they think that these are Trump's troops. They think that this is some awful thing. They think that Trump's the only president that ever deported anybody, that President Obama never deported anybody. Even President Biden deported some people. But to me, the most fascinating thing is that the $1,000 self-deportation bonus even applies to people who are in a detention facility awaiting some type of proceeding.
We are making it as easy as possible for illegal aliens to leave America. Any illegal alien can simply show up at an airport and receive a free flight out of our country. We have also launched a phone app called CBP Home. That's CBP Home, where illegals can book a free flight to any foreign country. As long as it's not here, you can go anywhere you want. We're also adding a very important exit bonus for illegals to further incentivize their self-deportation. This deportation bonus will save American taxpayers billions and billions of dollars. What Biden did to this country can never.
Okay, let's stop it right there. If you're going to give people $1,000 to help them get home, that right there ends the argument that people have nothing, therefore they cannot leave the country, that they are somehow trapped here. That's not true at all. People are being paid to leave. But it looks like the only criminals who won't be getting paid to do anything are these protesting officials. Look at this.
All right, several House Democrats potentially facing criminal charges after that chaos, a heated altercation that broke out at a New Jersey Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention facility on Friday. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security now saying the Trump administration is taking a closer look at the arrests of those involved in assaults on ICE officers. And News Nation's Rich McHugh joins us live. So, Rich, what more do we know about all this?
Hi, Nicole. Well, DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin tells me in an email this is an open and active investigation, but stopped short of repeating her comments over the weekend that there will be more arrests coming, but says it's an open and active investigation related to this chaotic incident on Friday when the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, was arrested. He was accused of trespassing after federal agents say he ignored warnings to leave. Alina Habba, she's the interim U.S. attorney for District of New Jersey. She wrote on X, the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, committed trespass and ignored multiple warnings from Homeland Security investigations to remove himself from the ICE detention center in Newark, New Jersey this afternoon. He was released.
I think the question on everybody's mind is, what happens if this situation escalates? Will these people face charges? Will they face actual jail time? Could they have to pay fines? And if that doesn't happen, does that pretty much guarantee that ICE agents all now have more of a target on their back than they already have when they're out there in our neighborhoods trying to make them safe?
Now, that's a dispute. We could be wrong, they could be wrong. But you know who solves disputes? Courts. That's why we have courts. Courts solve disputes, not ICE.
So you wanted to get arrested?
But now the attention turning to the 3 Democratic members of Congress there with the mayor. Let's take a closer look at that ICE body cam footage in that chaos.
Yeah, the question is this woman going to be in trouble?
They say the video shows the representative LaMonica Ivor. She's the one in the red, pushing and elbowing her way past Homeland Security agent to get through the gate into the property. The 3 members of Congress claim they were assaulted and deny that they tried to storm the facility. You can see them screaming at one point in the video of the faces of the DHS agents. Again, Department of Homeland Security tells me that this is an open and active investigation, but wouldn't go far as to say that there will be more arrests coming. Nicole.
All right. And Rich, it's not just there in Newark. We're also seeing some chaotic footage of arrests in Tennessee and other places.
Yeah, we're seeing this nationwide. There's this tension between local officials, local elected officials, and ICE agents. And over the last week, we saw this happen in Worcester, Massachusetts. We saw a raid there. Police union in Massachusetts wants criminal charges now against the city council member after this chaotic protest.
Look at how dangerous this is for ICE agents. They're here. They're trying to do their job. Their operation gets leaked, and a whole bunch of protesters and people show up with cameras and get in their faces just like their elected officials are doing. Our elected officials are not setting a good example at all, and their actions may have just endangered all of law enforcement, which is why some people say something should happen.
This raid in Worcester, agents were trying to detain a woman who was accused of violent crimes when about 24 people blocked this unmarked car. A woman even stood in front of it while holding her baby.
They're defending criminals.
Say they were assaulted and that the council member helped stir everything up. So
look
obviously
at that.
Many residents in Worcester were
right
outraged.
here. They're fighting.
This is a trend, Nicole, that we are going to be seeing, likely going to be seeing, continue throughout towns across America.
Unless somebody decides to do something about it. And now the question is, what should that be? Should people like this mayor of New Jersey who attacked ICE agents along with other Democrats who are elected have some sort of consequence because of this? If they don't, are we just going to see more protests? Is the country going to head into a summer of aggravated activity led by quote-unquote activists who just want to defend people who shouldn't even be in America to begin with? Let me know. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.